Good morning, everyone. We are Group 4. I'm Amandee and I'm the group leader, and my other presenters are Amna, Sidra, and Sidra. Let me start with this statement. Resilience in accepting your new reality, even if it's less good than the one you had before. You can fight it. You can do nothing but scream about what you have lost, or you can accept that and try to put together something that's good. These were the words spoken by Elizabeth Edwards. This is the message I want all of you to remember as we deal with this presentation about the novel Nectar and Sieve. It is a gripping and a beautiful novel about the power of love in the face of unimaginable loss, and believe this presentation will help you to get that idea. Nectar and Sieve by Kamala Marakandya is a relatively short novel that introduces the life in rural India and the changes that occurred during the country's British colonization. Although easy to read, the novel is lyrical and moving and can be read on a variety of levels. Let's move on to the first topic, organization. When we talk about the organization, there are 30 chapters in the novel. When we read on, we can see there are 3 parts on the novel. We can take part one of the novel as chapter 1 to 23, which contains development of the protagonist's life, starting as a child bride up to a mother with several children. In part 2, chapter 24 to 28 contains economical downfall of the rural agricultural community in South India. In part 3, which means chapter 29 and 30, arrival of industrialization and growth of industrial community with the multicultural representation. Understanding of the organization of the novel is important to know that life is circular, not linear. The novel does not begin with the narrator's childhood, despite our summary of the story as though it did. It begins with the memory flashback technique. Let's move on. That leads me to the next topic, time. When we talk about the time, as we read on, we notice the time is sustained. Markandeya uses time as a technique to move through the story. She uses seasons, journeys, and festivals for that purpose. Also, of novels, 30 chapters contain in their first sentence a reference to time, as which time incident happened, which season or day or night, or how many years later or how many times later from the previous incident that writer given. In first sentence of each of the other 12 chapters, there is a reference to journey, which is to say to movement in time. And each time establish both mood and character. It's really helpful for the readers. As an example, when the writer gives the story is about the monsoon season, we are expecting something bad going to happen, like this. The novel begins with a memory flashback and moves through the front. The writer uses past tense as Rukmani recalls her life, but certain scenes switch to present tense as if Rukmani relives the event, as the writer is successful on narrating the story. Next, let's move on to the next topic. Now time for Sidra.
Thank you, Amandee. White man exploitation and arrival of Stanley is the first topic that I'm going to present. Nectar in a Sieve is about an Indian peasant woman, Rukmani, whose life is shook by the sudden presence of imperialism. The experiences that Rukmani goes through is reflected by the haunting imperialist history in the Congo as well as the British viewpoint illustrated through the comic A White Man's Burden. Imperialism reflects dominance rather than social progress because it uses racism to justify the economic exploitation and the forced assimilation inflicted upon the imperialist people. The traditional rural values are destroyed by the Western industrialists. Kenny brings Western medicine to the village and helps Rukmani and Ida. The white men build a hospital in the village. Muslim women who have come under Western influence have to wear Western dresses. Western industrialists build a tannery in the village. The arrival of a tannery. It started when a tannery was established in their small village town. Then white men begin building and prostitution become a menace to their lifestyles. The tannery has been a source for income during difficult times when famine struck their livelihood. The novel is about the destruction of the traditional way of life in an Indian village by a tannery, arrival of industrialization, and a post-colonial attitude. The tannery is the traditional Indian symbol of social baseness, is also the symbol of 20th century industrialization. Tannery represents money-oriented and materialistic urbanization, moreover a symbol of mechanical power. The arrival of the tannery causes unpleasant changes in the village. There are traditional changes and social changes. And my second topic is the narrator is using the circumstances of experience as the source of her metaphor. According to this topic, the abiding quality of change is sustained in the novel through the comparison, which acts metaphorically. Not only social changes, such as power shifting from colonial to the government, but also the change of seasons are present in the novel through the comparison, which acts metaphorically. By using metaphors, the author maintains a balance between the characters of the narrator and the expectation of the readers. Markandeya uses metaphors that are connected with nature to indicate the social changes. One character is metaphor for another. As an example, the writer uses the character Kunti to create a comparison between Rukmani and Kunti. Nectar is a metaphor that we can find out in society. And my last topic that I'm going to present about the more violent the seasons, the faster comes social changes. Men arrive to build a tannery and it changes the village. The village shifts from the rural community to an industrialized community with an arrival of the tannery capitalism. It creates violence in the villagers' lifestyle. First one, cultural changes. Workers from the urban areas corrupt the villagers and introduce new traditions and cultures. Second one, urbanization. Money becomes an important factor. Third one, capitalism. Because of the tannery, more people come to the village, and as step by step, the village become a capital city. After the power shifts from the colonial to the government, most colonial workers lost their jobs. The transformation of the ruling system causes social changes. As a result of the seasonal changes, the agricultural society changes faster. So, Amna, it's your turn.
Thank you, Sidra. Let's go ahead. My first topic is fate. Fate plays major role. Fate play major role in this novel. The novel depicts that the South Indian village highly believe in fate. Man is born, suffer, and dies. They go through this cycle. Rukmani proves that the man can also live despite the odd circumstance. Rukmani reflects the circumstance is a cause for celebrations as much as it is for desperation. The novel is a mixture of a different human fate in Indian society. Rukmani's characters are represented the common fate of being a woman in South Indian poor family. And Rukmani further highlights, yet I have no fear how what is done, there can be repairing. And the next topic is the narrator's point of view and the reader's point of view. Nectar in a Sieve first-person narrative told by Rukmani. Her own direct observation, motivation, feeling describe the characters of her own. The narrator's view. After the reader to understand the event and characters by using the first-person narration, the author can bring the reader close to the event. The reader's point of view affects how much information the reader knows and which side of the story he sees. The flexibility of Nectar in a Sieve being told in the first person depends on characterization. First person narration is always prone to incredibility because the narrator's point of view uncharacterized by any other sense of prejudice. Literary devices and imageries are found among us the whole novel. It helps the reader to visualize from the character's point of view.
Your 10
And the
minutes is up.
And the last topic is environment and heredity. Set on Indian agricultural village, Rukmani and her family are strongly connected with nature and agriculture. Even though Rukmani and Nathan live in a tenant lane, they are proud to work on it. When the time is good, they grow vegetables and had a plenty of food. Rukmani's sons go to work in the tannery instead of following the family tradition from even though Nathan liked to have them beside him. Sons are involved in making money than agriculture. At last, none of his children show interest in working with Nathan. Amandee, it's your turn.
Thank you, Amna. That's the end of our presentation. In conclusion, remind yourself, sometimes we go through certain things and think, why me? Life is going to keep slapping you in the face. You have to make a promise to yourself that whatever happens, nothing will stop you from finding your joy. Thank you.